time, I'd like to call the regular council meeting to order. City of Twinsburg, Twinsburg Government Center at 7:30 p.m., January 23rd, 2018. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Here.
Mr. Steele?
Here.
Mr. Scafidi?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Ms. McFerrin?
Here.
Mr. Bellin?
Here.
Mr. Fury?
Here.
This time, I'd like for you to rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance by Mr. Fury.
Father, we seek your guidance for the business that is before us. In planning for the future of the city of Twinsburg, give us vision and grant us to make decisions that are not self-serving, but for the betterment of our community, so that we may continue to move on in a positive direction. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like approval of the minutes from January 9th and 16th. Any move to approve? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we have awards and presentations. We have Eric Joseph Bliss, Eagle Scout.
Eric, you want to come on up? Congratulations. So I really always, you can have a seat and face the crowd. I'm sorry, stand there. No, I enjoy doing these presentations. You know, we have such a strong Boy Scout group, and we've got such a number of Eagle Scouts that have come through here, even in the last 2 years. And what that means is that they're out in our community doing resourceful things and really bettering Twinsburg. So it's really an honor to always recognize someone who's made it to Eagle Scout, because that means they've made a significant change and improvement to our community. So for Eric, I want to go ahead and read his proclamation. Whereas the administration, council, and residents of the city of Twinsburg, Ohio, extend congratulations to Eric Joseph Bliss for his achievement in earning the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Eric Bliss joined Cub Scouts in 2008 with Cub Scout Pack 67, sponsored by Faith United Methodist Church of Twinsburg. As a Cub Scout, Eric earned 24 of the 56 academic and sport belt loops. He earned all 20 Webelos activity pins and was awarded the Arrow of Light in March of 2012. Eric crossed over to Boy Scout Troop 2013, sponsored by the Summit Masonic Lodge of Twinsburg in March 2012, under the leadership of Scoutmaster Chip Reed. He has held the troop positions of Patrol Scribe, Patrol Quartermaster, Troop Chaplain Aide, and Patrol Leader. For his Eagle Scout project, Eric constructed an 11-foot tall tower at Liberty Park that functions as a roost for chimney swifts. The tower helps increase the species population, which is currently declining. An increase in chimney swifts will also help control the insect population in Liberty Park to make up for the loss of bats due to white nose syndrome. Eric has participated in many school-related and extracurricular activities, such as Drama Club, Computer Club, Paws Club, and Environmental Club. He has volunteered over 150 hours of community service with multiple organizations in Twinsburg, including the Humane Society of Summit County, and has participated in American Youth Soccer Organization for 13 years. He plans to attend college after graduation with a focus in either medical or technology fields. Now, therefore, I, Ted Yates, Mayor of the City of Twinsburg, express my congratulations to Eric Joseph Bliss on achieving the prestigious and honorable rank of Eagle Scout. I further congratulate his parents, Ronald and Paula, and his sister Sarah, along with family, friends, and fellow Scouts as they gather to commemorate this special occasion. There you go. All right, this next one's going to be a little tougher. Ms. House, would you come up here? And I would ask Mayor Prokop to come on up too. I think they still call us mayor when we leave. Sometimes, yeah. All right. So, for those that don't know, Karen House is going to be leaving the city as our finance director. It's a very sad time of our workforce and for our hearts to see Karen leave. She's been here since 2008. Okay, I've been fortunate to work with her the last 2 years, and coming on as mayor, there's certain things that as being part of city council, but being here on a day-to-day basis and really understanding the operations of the city and our $55 million budget and all the things that we have to handle on a day-to-day basis, Karen has been really kind of a right arm for me to help navigate me through that. And she's educated me. She's kept me grounded. Sometimes I start taking off and she pulls me back to reality. But she's just really been fun to work with. And that's the thing that I'll remember most, is that we really had fun working together over 2 years. And I know I keep telling her she's going back to her hometown of Warrensville Heights to help that city. She's friends with the mayor there and has been recruited away from here. So it's just kind of a bittersweet thing. But I keep telling her, I said, 3 days in, you're going to wish you were back in Twinsburg. But she's probably going to text me and say something. But we will miss her. I know council will tremendously miss her, and the city will miss her professionalism and her expertise.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm really pleased to have this opportunity to congratulate Karen. Karen, it just seems like yesterday that you walked into City Hall, and the first minute I met her, she was just so impressive, so articulate and professional, and she brought a whole different kind of attitude to the finance department as far as being progressive and making sure everybody was cross-trained. And I've never seen anybody be more professional with our community. Any question, she always answers it respectfully. She made sure everything was posted on the website. She has a desire in her heart for education, to educate not only her employees, but the community, and she did a great job with it. And I have the greatest respect for you, Karen. I'm just honored to be here today to congratulate you. And I'm going to say I'm going to miss you, but I know I won't miss you because we're good friends and we will still see each other. Good to be here, Karen. Thank you.
So we have a proclamation, and I want to read it. So, whereas the Administration, Council, and residents of the City of Twinsburg, Ohio, join with the family and friends of Karen House, Finance Director, in offering our sincere congratulations and thanks for her many years of service to the City of Twinsburg. Ms. House began her career in finance with the Cuyahoga County Auditor's Office in 1986. She then became Director of Finance for the Village of Oakwood in 1996 and became the Finance Director for the City of Twinsburg in 2008. Ms. House holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from Cleveland State and a Master's of Business Administration degree from University of Phoenix. The primary function of Finance Director requires many encompassing responsibilities, including, but not limited to, the preparation of the annual tax budget and all major financial reports and subsequent amendments, monitoring the city's fiscal activity for financial position and trends, functioning as the city risk manager, and carrying out countless other duties. Ms. House dutifully served former Mayor Catherine Prokop and current Mayor Ted Yates, and continues to demonstrate outstanding leadership of the Finance Department and its staff, as evidenced by her receiving the Ohio Auditor of State Award in 2010 and 15. She also implemented the installation of new financial software called Visual Intelligence Portfolio, restructured the accounting process for better transparency of financial reporting, and converting pay stubs and purchase orders to electronic formats to reduce paper usage. Mrs. House currently sits on the Regional Income Tax Agency Board of Trustees. Ms. House leads an active lifestyle, holding a black belt in Taekwondo and regularly partaking in many forms of martial arts. She enjoys spending time with her son, Christian, daughter Shannon, and mother Juanita. Ms. House has always remained a calm voice of reason and practicality in the office, and her optimism shows in every aspect of her life. Therefore, I, Ted Yates, Mayor of the City of Twinsburg, along with Twinsburg City Council, do hereby congratulate Karen House on her continued journey as Finance Director for her own hometown, the City of Warrensville Heights, and send only the utmost well wishes for her this evening. Exciting opportunity. She will be greatly missed.
At this time, is there any audience participation?
There is. Do we want to?
Take a break.
Well, or excuse them if they'd like.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming in. Oh, Jess, Aiden, I'll see you in the morning. Great job. Great job. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.
The dog ate nothing.
All right. Audience participation, we have Ray Deersing.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Ray Deersing at 3500 Cannon Road. The character of our community is defined by its cultural and environmental characteristics and features. Unique cultural and environmental resources can influence how well individuals relate to their community and ultimately help enhance livability and improve equality of life. Cultural features of a community include its architecture, public spaces, and historic elements. Other elements contributing to the cultural development and awareness: Twinsburg's history and social cultural resources are expressed and documented in a variety of community facilities and activities. The Twinsburg Historical Society has preserved and documented the area's history at their main building at 8990 Darrell Road, next to Mr. Chicken, contains many items from the last 200 years. This fall, a slice from a tree that is estimated to be 250 years old was placed in a Freeman barn. It stretches 80 inches across at its widest point. It grew about 75 feet from Twinsburg's first sidewalk built from the railroad depot up to the center of town. The adjacent Freeman barn houses many farm implements of the past that documents the area agricultural heritage. The historic building. In relative terms, the city of Twinsburg has a short history, having been founded by the Wilcox twins in 1832. Actually, they are not the founders, but our township was renamed from Millsville as gratitude for them donating the 6 acres or 5 acres for the town square and $20 to build the first school. Historic buildings nominated to the National Register include the First Congregational Church built in 1848 and the 1850 stone house used by the Twinsburg Historical Society. The 1850 stone house was actually built by Reverend Samuel Bissell with the help of many friends and students as a school. Support of the Historical Society's presence enhanced the property by increasing its area through the purchase of adjacent property. Use of the additional property to complete the Historical Society's structural display. The above is taken from the Twinsburg Comprehensive Plan and a roadmap to Twinsburg's future. So the city realizes how important that our historical heritage is. For those who have not been to the museum in the past 6 months, I encourage you to visit. There are many new displays, new cases, and of course the past year has been very busy for the Historical Society, like the rest of the city, being it was our bicentennial year. New display cases and acquisitions, putting many documents and pictures that were in file cabinets on a computer. Making it easy access for people to research the history of Twinsburg. If you have not been to the museum lately, I urge you to attend an open house. You will see we have a quality museum that will make you proud that we have that in our city of Twinsburg. This Sunday at 2 p.m., would be an opportunity to bring your spouse, friend, or better yet, your children or grandchildren to the museum. They will have supplies to make valentines, and at 3 p.m. there will be a speaker from the Summit County Historical Society on Victorian Valentines. This would be a great opportunity to have quality time with family, to see what an asset our museum is while making some special memories for yourself and your kids
1 minute.
that will last you a lifetime. I asked 2 questions of my grandchildren today. I have 4 of them answered. A 3rd, a 6th, 7th, and 10th grader. The first question I asked them to write, what do you like best about our museum? And the second question, is it important to keep it and preserve it? And the answers that they gave me, and I had no idea what they would write, it really pleasantly surprised me. I would like to share those with you. The oldest one, volunteer hours at the Old Time Fair. It teaches you about Twinsburg, the Old Time Fair, and our history. And do you think it is important to keep and preserve it? Yes. So we know, I can't read her writing. She must have got that from me. So Twinsburg is how it was founded. Yes, it's important to remember the past. Now, this is from the 3rd grader. I like seeing old stuff. And the question, do you think it's important to preserve it? She says, it's important stuff from the past. We should keep it. Then the other one, my grandson said, the history behind Twinsburg, to see what it was like. And we need to keep it because it's important to see technology was really different. I like seeing a typewriter. They have an old typewriter. And the last one I'd like to share is this is about the museum, how that it was a school. And the artifacts are real. They are part of Twinsburg. You can see a real thing, not just a picture. And she said it's important, why we should keep it. The dentist chair is really neat. If we didn't have this history, we would be lost. So I wanted to share those with you. In this past year, many needed maintenance issues were addressed, and many interesting and informative programs were presented over the years. That's this past year. This year, they're hoping to paint the Riley House on Liberty Road, which is owned by the city, and they're hoping to repair and paint the Freeman Barn roof. Those 2 items are costing about $12,000 to $15,000. Locust Grove, you may have read the article in the bulletin about Ed Ponner, who is a member. He went to Indiana on his own and took training on how to refurbish old headstones. This summer, that crew, where he went for training, they came and refurbished, cleaned up a lot of the old stones and repaired broken ones and reset them. If you haven't been up there lately, it's absolutely amazing what he's done. And that's where some of the profits from the Tales of Locust Grove have gone for that. The other thing is so I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So what I'm asking for, I brought along with me this evening to be passed out for everybody up there is a monthly newsletter from the December for the Twinsburg Historic. It recaps what they've done for the whole year. And in each monthly newsletter, in addition to telling you what's going on in the, as far as the Historical Society goes, it gives a little moments to remember. And we support VFW and the city. In the December's issue, mark your calendars. About November 19th was a clock show. November 25th, City of Twinsburg Luminosity. December 2nd, City of Twinsburg Winter Wonderland. And then depends on the VFW, they're having their special program next month, and that'll be in there. So I am passing these around. I'd ask each of you to take it. And also attached to the back happens to be a membership form. I'm here to ask each of you to consider joining the Twinsburg Historical Society.
Yeah.
What does it cost? $25 a year for a family. I spend that much taking 3 of my grandsons to a movie, and that again or more, taking them to a fast food restaurant afterwards. So for $25, it's a tremendous bargain. And that money helps to do maintenance and pay utilities, nothing else. Now, involved? Does it require meetings? No. But we're hoping that during the year that you will come to a program that's interesting to you and you'll bring your family. And perhaps you might see a project coming up that you'd like to donate a few hours. It's very, very important, folks, and I'm here asking each of you, even you, Mr. Maestro. And before Joanne came out in the audience, she said yes even before she knew what I was going to ask her. So with that, I will conclude, and I brought some extra membership application for you in the audience. And like I said, it's only $25 a year for a family. I mean, that is very minimal. And I talked them into making a 2-year membership for $45. So you can save $5 and you won't have to be bothered being reminded. So with that, I thank you very much for your attention, and I sincerely hope that you'll be kind enough to join. I just have to share one thing with you. The Old Time Fair and Tales of Locust Grove are 2 of the things that the Historical Society puts on. I saw the mayor there. He came through. If you have not attended that, I urge you to do so. I know most people don't like history, but I think seriously you will find we have a very high quality museum in what we do down there.
Thank you.
I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shannon, do we have any other audience participation?
There is none.
There is none. Okay, then we'll move on to council communication and committee reports. Mr. Fury?
Thank you. On January 16th, I attended the Twinsburg CIC. Discussions that evening were Liberty Development Corporation as a potential partner for the downtown development. And the next meeting of the Twinsburg CIC will be on February 20th at 6 p.m. The next Community Relations Board will be on March 22nd at 5 p.m. And as of now, we have not scheduled a capital improvement, which will be later in the year, a tax incentive review board, which again will be later in the year as we do the reviews for the abatements. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Steele?
It's my understanding the Volunteer Fireman Board is going to meet next week,
Hopefully.
hopefully. Okay. The ARB met the other night and they approved a couple of signs, and I think the last, if I remember right, the last house at Corbett's Farm. So that's built out. My other committees have not, or the other things have not met at this time. I think we need to get the safety committee going and find a date sometime in the future.
That's going to be March 13th.
Okay. Move forward. And that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Scafidi.
Thank you. Good evening. The next Board of Zoning Appeals meeting will be held tomorrow evening, the 24th at 6:30 here in the council chambers. Tonight we had a finance committee meeting, the first one of the year, and a couple items that were discussed. Amy Moore discussed the State Route 91 and Ravenna and Richner Road sanitary improvement project and some of the concerns that she had there, and wanted to apprise the finance committee about those issues and some possible costs that may come in the very near future. She also discussed the golf clubhouse update. She gave us an update on that and some of the changes there that are necessary to make, and some of the additional funding that we need in order to for some changes that are happening inside the clubhouse building itself. So she asked that I make a motion this evening. She's sent out several bulletins to us with regards to some of the changes that are going on in that building. So she asked us to, and I'd like to make a motion tonight that we go forward with bulletin number 7, which has to do with the IT and audiovisual equipment there, as well as some window treatments that we have to have asked the contractor for some costs on. The total cost of bulletin number 7 is $107,500. So that's my motion that we move forward. The reason we're doing a motion is that she needs some kind of confirmation from council immediately until we have legislation provided, probably at our next meeting. So with that, I make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Mrs. Stoffer seconds. Any discussion from council? Shannon, call the roll, please.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Okay, then also we had our finance director, Karen House. She discussed the cash and revenue expenses for 2017 for the city of Twinsburg, as well as she recapped the 2017 finances and also the 2018 projections. She went over those, and as she usually does, very easily to understand and explain, and so that this being Karen's last meeting, and that most likely being her last finance committee meeting, I do want to end my report with Karen, as I mentioned in the finance committee meeting, we are going to miss you very much. I know I am. You've been more than a colleague, you've been a friend, and I do appreciate your friendship. And as I said, you've made it so simple for us to, you always speak and make sure that we understand what we're doing and what you're talking about, and what direction we're going in with regards to the finances. So I know we all appreciate that, and especially I'm sure the new council people do, and as an old guy myself, I'm still learning today, and I've learned a lot from you, and I truly appreciate your friendship and all of your expertise that you brought to us. So we're going to miss you very much. I believe that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Okay, I also attended the finance meeting. I attended a meeting, the Planning Commission had a meeting yesterday, January 22nd. On the agenda, they had approved, or they passed a preliminary plat and site plan for the residential development quarry reserve at Boulder Brook. So that was passed. Also on the agenda was a revised preliminary site plan that they were happy with, but they did not need to vote on that. So that was on the agenda. Their next meeting is going to be February 5th here in council at 7 p.m. My other committees have not met. On to Ms. McFerrin.
Parks and Rec will be meeting on February 22nd. The next Community Relations meeting will be on March 22nd. Safety will be on March 13th. I also attended the CIC meeting last week and the Finance meeting tonight. And Karen, thank you. It was a great recap of where we are and how we've gotten there and where we're going in 2018. So thank you for making it easy for us. And we appreciate everything you've done.
So on January 16th, the Golf Advisory Board met. There was quite a bit of play during December this year. We had 134 rounds this year versus only 6 last year. It's tough to believe with the weather that we've been coming off, but it was. We sold 2 memberships, and we sold quite a few gift certificates, like 58 gift certificates in December. Winterization of the course has been completed, and moving forward next year, we're going to be moving forward with a new marking system. So you'll have a 150-yard marker in the center of the fairway, as well as 100-yard and 200-yard discs in the center of the fairway as well. And none of my other committees have met.
Thank you. Mr. Barr.
Thank you so much. As my colleagues, I attended the Finance Committee meeting this evening. I wish you all the best, Karen. Self-set feel cheated because you're leaving, and I have not got to experience all of the wonderful things everybody has to say about you other than this short little time. So, best of luck with everything, and you will be missed.
Thank you.
Also attended the CIC committee last week. As Mr. Fury stated, our next meeting is February 20th at 6 p.m. The Environmental Commission has not met formally as a group yet, but the Earth Day Subcommittee or Earth Day Committee has been working their tails off, getting together the past several Mondays. Although I've not been able to attend those meetings, from what Ms. Walker has informed me, they are working very diligently to meet some February 1st deadlines with the Summit County Metro Parks. They also have touched base with some of the folks up at the school, and there's going to be some art and poem exhibits and things of that nature. And I believe the Earth Day Commission and Ms. Walker are working on a presentation right here for our next council meeting to kind of keep us apprised as to what's going on with everything that Earth Day has to offer. And if it's anything like last year, I can only imagine it's going to be even better this year. So we're really looking forward to that, and I'll do a full report on the Environmental Commission meeting after we meet, which is February 8th here at 7 o'clock.
Thank you. Thank you. Mayor?
Good evening, everyone, again. Short report tonight. Has everyone driven in the downtown area? So removal of the old school is underway. I want to thank the Historical Society. They sent me a nice note. We coordinated with them to remove as much as we could. I know they've stored and I'm glad that we're able to preserve some of the items from the school. I know if you become more involved in the Historical Society, some of those items may be for sale that will help some of their funding. So I'd encourage you to watch for anything that they may be posting as it relates to auditorium chairs, or we're going to work trying to get them some bricks and different things. We're also going to be working to try to repurpose some of the bricks with the city itself, some of the projects we have around here. So we are going to try to do that, and we've been working with the contractor up there now to help coordinate that. One thing I'd like to mention, it's the city kind of, we run and we take care of things. Our wastewater treatment plant runs. We do a lot of things in Park and Rec. Our service department's always out doing things. Our police and fire are always doing things behind the scene administratively. And it's nice to have residents that recognize some of the work that we do that maybe some of our residents take for granted. We've had a cold, a little bit snowy season. We had a horrific end of fall with the storm that came through and some of the work that was just dumped on our service department. And so it's nice to see residents that actually go beyond of just saying, hey, you guys are doing a great job and doing this. So we had a group of residents that sponsored a luncheon for our service department last week and catered it and brought them all together. And I know they really tremendously appreciated that, enjoyed that. And it's great to see residents now becoming a little more engaged in what we're doing and how we're doing it, and really looking around and saying, we've got things pretty good here in Twinsburg. And but it was nice, and I know the guys really appreciated having a nice lunch like that and having it sponsored by residents. So thank you for that. The last thing I just want to mention is I'm doing the State of the City. I typically always do it in February. So this year it's February 15th at 7:30 at the Hilton Garden Inn. Tickets can be through the Twinsburg Chamber of Commerce. So if you go on their website, again, we just kind of give a recap of everything that's kind of gone over the last year and look forward into 2018. And that's all I have this evening. And department head report, Derek?
Good evening. I first want to mention this is our last coming weekend coming up here for Willy Wonka. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a really cute show, really well done, and it's a little bit shorter than a lot of our shows in the past. So from the time I got there till the time I left, it was like an hour and 45 minutes, including the intermission. So it's tightened up a little bit. I think last year we were almost at 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, but I thought it was great, good for the kids, and even the lobby area is kind of decorated in a Candyland fashion, so it's a good photo op for kids and a family outing. You can get tickets up at the community center for $8 or at the door at the Commons for $10. Also, I've gotten a lot of questions about summer camp. Summer camp registration is in April. All that information will be online in March for summer camp. And we are currently accepting applications for leader positions, volunteer positions. So those can be at mytwinsburg.com and click on job openings and you can fill out those. Those need to get in ASAP because all that stuff happens way in advance. So we're looking to get probably 40 new leaders this year and probably about 50 or 60 volunteers. So we can get those in ASAP. That would be great. Rock the Park is underway. I have a lot of sponsorship meetings over the last couple of months and a couple of months coming worth of meetings to finalize that with a release of the schedule in April. But the first show will be of the Rock the Park concert series will be June 1st. There's a couple things before that that'll be coming out too. Capital projects, we're kind of waiting until we can spend money. Karen. So once we can do that, we're getting our capital projects underway. The amphitheater new covering is get ready to be ordered. We have some tables and chairs for our community center, new carpeting, and then the training zone at the fitness center. We're getting ready for that. So once we get the okay, we're going to move forward with purchase orders for those things. Another thing I always get questions about this time of year is when is the adult Easter egg hunt and when do tickets go on sale? Adult Easter egg hunt is on March 23rd, Friday night. Tickets go on sale February 10th, which is a Saturday at 10 a.m. at the community center. So that's something new, having tickets on sale on a Saturday instead of a weeknight. We're going to see how that goes. It's perfect time of year to start thinking about the community gardens. Registration for residents to get a new plot happens on February 20th. And then non-residents, if there's any left, which typically there aren't, is on March 12th. At the fitness center, we have a new volleyball league starting, so if you're a group of 6 interested in a volleyball league, Taylor Burns, our field house coordinator, is starting that, and that starts on March 1st, but you need to get all your information and your team of 6 or 7. You have to have at least, it's co-ed, you have to have at least 2 females on your team. We have a couple senior events coming up. I think the most soonest one is the senior tea on January 26th up at the senior center. Swimming lesson starts the new session in February 12th. And all of our Easter events, I know people are getting things on their calendar, will take place on March 31st. We do have a new fitness center website, twinsburgfitness.com. It kind of is a roundabout way to get there for people. So you can bypass twinsburgrecreation.com. You can bypass mytwinsburg.com and go straight to twinsburgfitness.com and see fitness class schedules, any cancellations, open gym times, that sort of thing. And I definitely want to echo the comments of Karen leaving. Her and I have a love-hate relationship at times. We've had our moments, kind of like the mayor, where she brings you back to reality. She brings you back to reality real quick, and I get upset about that. But I will definitely miss her reports of numbers down to the penny, and I usually poke her a little bit for that, and just wondering what the next hair is going to be. So that's it. We'll miss you. If there's any questions.
Thank you, Derek.
I think this is your final report, Karen. So, and it's a good one because I've already been.
Should this be a long one, or I always get a comment sometimes. I want a little bit of this, but this is my last finance income tax report, and it's a good one in the fact that for the month of January we're received $1,856,690 compared to last year. $1,691,000, and this reflects almost a 10% increase, or $165,000 more over last year. Refunds in the amount of $13,592, and the net distribution for a month, individual net and profit withholding collectively is $224,932. We've closed the month of, we closed the year for 2017, so you should expect your reports coming out tomorrow. Keeping my fingers crossed, W-2s went out. That was great. And I have to say, this is where I get a little sensitive, but what I will say is this. It has been an absolute pleasure having the opportunity of being the finance director for the city of Twinsburg all these years. And I have made some wonderful friends along the way. I've learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to this new opportunity, but I will tell you this. My heart is very full in the simple fact that it all started with Catherine Prokop, and just from a simple meeting turned to directorship here. And I'll never forget, and I want to thank you for that opportunity that you've given me, and the enjoyment that I've had working with the new mayor. Innovation continues, the progress, and I can't go by individuals and say each person because I will be getting overwhelmed, but I will say what a great city to work for, and the progress has just been wonderful. And we stayed steadfast when we had that challenge with Chrysler, and we came through and we prevailed despite naysayers, and we'll continue to prevail. And I know that with this wonderful new council members that are on and the existing council, you're going to continue to do steadfast and do good work, and that you are working for your constituents. People just don't realize the amount of time that you put in and the commitment that you truly have for this city. And despite what anybody says, Twinsburg is a great place to be, and you guys do a good job taking care of it. And so I commend you, and again, thanks for the opportunity, and I will definitely miss being here.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
That's all our department head reports.
Okay, next we'll move on to legislation. Ordinance 01, 2018.
An ordinance approving a change order to the contract with Kavanaugh Building for modifications of additional work related to the golf clubhouse project.
That stands on its first reading. Next, we have ordinance 05, 2018.
An ordinance authorizing the sale at auction of certain personal property owned by the city of Twinsburg and no longer needed for municipal purposes.
That is actually on its second reading, I believe. Then we'll have ordinance 09, 2018.
An ordinance amending the current year appropriations for the general revenue account as established in ordinance 101, 2017, the appropriation ordinance for the city of Twinsburg for the year 2018, and declaring an emergency.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to put ordinance 09, 2018 on its third and final reading and declared an emergency. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I made the motion. It was seconded by Mr. Bellin. This has to do with legal fees related to some of the lawsuit to the old school. Any other discussion?
Total amount, the total amount of fees, lawsuits to defend against Mrs. Gates was roughly $30,100. And we need to put it on emergency to pay the bill.
Anything else? Any other discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Emergency passes 7-0. Now I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 09, 2008 as an emergency. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I made the motion. It was seconded by Mr. Bellin. Any further discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Ordinance 09, 2018 passes by a 7-0 vote. Next, we have ordinance 10, 2018.
An ordinance amending Section 127.06, City Officers, authorizing signatures of the codified ordinances of the City of Twinsburg and declaring an emergency.
Okay, this time I'd like to make a motion to put ordinance 10, 2018 on its third and final reading and declare it an emergency. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I made the motion. It was seconded by Ms. McFerrin. This is so, do you want to explain, Mr. Maestros?
Sure. This is, we looked at, Karen House brought this to my attention today, actually, and we looked at our ordinance as far as who is authorized to sign checks and financial instruments for the city, and it's the mayor and the finance director. And in one of their absences, there's a list of some other people that were authorized, and one of those other positions is the chief accounting clerk, which is just a position that no longer exists. So we have an assistant finance director, and we might be in a position where we don't have a finance director sitting in that seat for a period of time. So we needed to amend this to allow the mayor and the assistant finance director in order to keep the city's business rolling. So that's what this is.
Any other discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Okay, now I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 10, 2018 as an emergency. Is there a second?
Second.
I made the motion. It was seconded by Mr. Barr. Any further discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Ordinance 10, 2018 passes by a 7-0 vote. Next, we'll move on to unfinished business, new business, and miscellaneous. Mr. Barr, do you have anything tonight?
No, well, last time, you'll be missed. Also, to echo what Derek said, I did see the production of Willy Wonka a couple times last week, and it is terrific, and it's short. So if you're like me, you're not crazy about musicals, you'll really enjoy this project. It's a lot of fun. My kids really enjoyed it, cousins, nieces, and nephews. So everybody that has seen it has given it 2 thumbs up. I applaud the Parks and Rec Department and the community theater folks. They just do a terrific job. It's a tremendous show. So definitely get out. I believe the show times are Friday at 7, Saturday at 2, Sunday at 2. So this is the last weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bellin.
Yeah, just a couple things this evening. I had an opportunity last week to meet with the Twinsburg Baseball League Board. They invited me to their meeting and just kind of introduce myself and learn a little bit about what they're doing. So I just wanted to thank them publicly, and I appreciate it. Today I met with some residents from Belmar. There's quite a few new residents in that community, and so they invited me to join them for lunch. Had a wonderful meeting, wonderful discussion, and again, I wanted to thank them for that, for including me. I think it's been mentioned this evening, there's several boards and commission seats that are available. Applications for those need to be turned in by March the 5th, I believe, at 4:30. There are a couple specific to my ward. Parks and Rec, there's an opening. There's 3 openings, but one of them is specific to Ward 5, so if you're interested, please apply. And one other thing, I just want to echo what the mayor said, to thank the Twinsburg Talk Group for reaching out and taking care of the service guys. That was an incredible thing that you guys did, and I really do appreciate it, and I know that they did as well, so thank you. And finally, Karen, best of luck. You'll absolutely be missed.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. Ms. McFerrin.
I wanted to thank, the Historical Society for their membership applications, and I'm going to surely put one in the mail tonight or tomorrow. The Friends of the Twinsburg Parks are going to be meeting on February 19th at 7 p.m. And there are 26 openings for the boards and commission, and I just highly encourage everyone to look at the website or call Shannon and apply, because it's really we all need you to be a part of the boards and commissions. I guess that's all I have.
Thank you. I would like to make a motion right now that City Council does not oppose the new liquor permit for Master Pizza Twinsburg LLC located on Ravenna Road, and authorize the clerk to submit the form to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I made the motion. It was seconded by Mr. Scafidi. Ms. Shannon, would you like to explain this?
The reason for the additional liquor permit is they applied once to get both. They didn't have the necessary bathrooms for that. Went ahead and installed a bathroom, got their carry-out license, and now they have a second bathroom, so they are asking for permission for on-site beer to be served.
Right. Thank you. Any other discussion? Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes?
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes 7-0. I also had a couple of other points. I wanted to mention the Veterans Park fundraiser. It's the second, let's see, there's a monthly drawing. It's for Twinsburg VFW Post 4929. They're having a fundraiser, a monthly drawing of $100, the second Tuesday of each month starting July 28th. The ticket will be good for 12 drawings. Winning ticket will be put back in. The donation is $10. If you are interested, please see Post 4929 member for tickets, or you can purchase it online at squareup.com/store/Twinsburg VFW. The winner does not need to be present, and all proceeds will benefit veterans. There's also a number here. You could also contact Mike DeCillo at 330-405-8795. So there's that. And then I also, I've been trying all night just saying, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, because you know my voice is not great already. Karen, you're a hero. Thank you for everything you've done. It's a big loss, but I know you're going to do great things wherever you go. So thanks for everything.
Thank you.
And that's all I have. Mr. Scafidi?
Thank you. I have nothing further tonight. I'm done.
Mr. Steele?
Karen, to be able to get me to understand accounting is a big feat. And I don't know that I totally understand, but I know more today than I did 2 years ago when I first got on council, and it's all because of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Fury?
Karen, you'll be thoroughly missed. I will remember those first 3 years where I tried to train you to be a finance director, and the last 6 years where you overrode me and taught me how I should be subservient to you. So I spent more time in your office than any others in the city, and I appreciate your help, and I always enjoyed our discussions. So good luck to you. Best wishes.
Thank you.
You'll be missed.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Mayor?
There's nothing else for me this evening.
Mr. Maestros?
Thanks. I have to say something about Karen. And I kicked this around for a while. I mean, there's a million things I could say, but in all seriousness, I mean, it's difficult because I know Karen is truly doing something. We've talked about this. I mean, she's setting off on this challenge of something she feels she needs to do. And that's why, as much as we all give her a hard time the last couple of weeks of being mad at her, you got to be happy for her. She is taking her skills, her expertise back to her hometown, to her friend, and she's going to do a great job there. But, you think back when she started here, I mean, she's had former council people challenge her, the citizen auditors challenge her, the nameless heroes on social media challenge her, and every step of the way, through class, through dignity, through her professionalism, she has kind of just beat them back. And I know my office is about 10 steps from Karen's office, and I know when it takes her 6 or 7 steps to get there that we're going to have a discussion. And I'll miss those steps. I'll miss those loud steps coming down the hall, and then when she sneaks up, there's probably something much worse. But it's I'll miss it. I'll miss that you're not going to be 10 steps from me. Good luck.
Thank you.
Shannon?
Just a couple things. The VFW tickets are also available here at City Hall, so if you want one, you can stop here and pick them up too during normal business hours. The Athletic Boosters is having their wrestling tournaments on February 2nd and 3rd. Need a lot of volunteers for that. If you're interested, you can look us up on the Facebook, and the link to sign up is on there. And also, Karen, I have really enjoyed working with you, and I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss your late legislation requests. Not really, but I'm going to miss you. But we'll get together. Thank you. Good luck.
Okay, I think that's it. At this time, I would like to make a motion to enter into an executive session to discuss matters pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 121-22 G1, personnel. Afterwards, we will reconvene and report on the executive session. So I made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I made the motion. It was seconded by Mr. Fury. Shannon, please call the roll.
Mrs. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Fury?
Yes.
Mr. Scafidi?
Yes.
Mr. Steele?
Yes.
Ms. McFerrin?
Yes.
Mr. Bellin?
Yes.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.